We interrupt the regularly scheduled mass programming feeds. Watchmen bring this announcement to the earth. A famine of the word of Yahuwah is found on the earth. Plagues are poured out in judgment. Important words of the Creator Yahuwah have been dismissed. Without the word, people are not living abundantly. My people perish for lack of knowledge. There is a city whose builder is Yahuwah Aloha. There is healing for the nations. A light unto the Gentiles, restore all truth. Join us as we share from the word of Yahuwah.
Light unto the Gentiles Ministries. May you have a warm and wonderful Passover experience this year with your families. We have the spring feast upon us, the appointed times of Yahuwah found in Leviticus 23. This is not only a remembrance of the exodus out of Egypt for the 12 tribes, but it is also a remembrance of our Mashiach, our Messiah, Yahushua, who died on the execution stake in exchange for us and to bring us back to the Father. Tuesday night is Passover. We go into the Feast of Unleavened Bread for 7 nights and 7 days. I prepared a list of recipes over the years, and I'm going to leave a link in the description for you so you could utilize those recipes if you like. One of the things that I do every year is I make homemade ketchup and homemade mayonnaise. My kids love ketchup and mayonnaise, so I make our own for this week. And they also love the unleavened bread pizzas, which we use turkey pepperoni on. I'm just going to share those recipes and you can find something that you like. You'll see a lot of recipes here. There's certainly recipes to make unleavened bread, and that looks delicious, doesn't it? It is amazing. There will be information here about hamets and what leaven is. There will be scriptures here. So there's quite a bit of information besides recipes. Passover is called Pesach, and this says Pesach Sameach, which is joyous Passover. So Pesach is a feast of the sparing of the people of Yahuwah from Yahuwah's judgment of the sins of the known world. It's a great feast to get in on. And you can find the scriptures about it in Leviticus 23, but I also recommend to begin reading in Exodus and read right through from Exodus 1 all the way through Exodus 12. That'll give you a lot of detail on the plagues of Egypt, and the people of Yahuwah were spared. So it is a remembrance, but it's also a rehearsal. In the Hebrew, it's the word mikra. And it says the Feast of Unleavened Bread is not about denying ourselves, but it's about coming out of the world system and being prepared to leave at a moment's notice. Here in our home, we don't use vinegar during this week as well. So I make my kids ketchup and mayonnaise. And then people generally use horseradish for their bitter herbs. I found wasabi, which is horseradish, that doesn't have vinegar in it. The reason I don't use vinegar is it is hamets, where the leaven is hamats. It's the same word, hamats. So we don't use vinegar here at our house. We don't use the baking soda, which is a leaven. Baking powder has baking soda in it. And then after several pages of very useful, helpful information, you just start looking at the different recipes. And there's a table of contents, of course. And then you can just go down and find stuff that you like. I actually want to warn people. I've seen people who are keeping Passover, present company included, and keeping the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and you'll be out somewhere and someone will offer you a blueberry muffin. It's like, oh, sure, thanks. One time we were in some sort of stress and we decided, let's just go into Subway and get lunch and we'll go from there. And then it was like, wait a minute, we can't have Subway. We realized this while we were in line. So it can sneak up on you. You're keeping unleavened bread. Just be aware that you don't get off track on that. There's some amazing, delicious recipes here. I know somebody that fasts all week, so these wouldn't work for her. There's just plain old matzah, wonderful for Passover evening. You can find all those here. In the tradition of the Jews, you may decide to follow a Haggadah, a program for the Seder dinner. I have one that has been modified to have restored names in it, so I'm going to leave a link for you there. And then the Haggadah here, and you'll notice that I've gone through and I've edited it. It says it honors Yahushua as Mashiach and as a sovereign whose return is expected shortly. Hallelujah. It uses the true Hebrew names for El Elyon, Yahuwah, and of his son Yahushua. there's 30 pages here. It is a program as you're eating dinner. Well, here's an interesting one. A lot of times people use matzo ball soup at Passover meal, but even if it says kosher for Passover, you need to look at the ingredients and find out if it has baking soda in it. If it has baking soda in it, then it is off limits for Passover and the whole week. So just another little warning there. Here's some preparations for Passover meal. Before you even get into the program, it tells you traditional elements in the Passover meal you can participate in here. Parsley, little bowls of salt water for each guest, matzah, unleavened bread. You can cook it. You could buy the crackers pre-made. It's wonderful if you make your own. Grape juice. And then it says here, wine should not be in the home at this time because it is hamets fermented. I don't use the wine, just grape juice. A small bag of fikumin, pure horseradish. Again, I have found wasabi. And then there's a mixture of apples and finely ground walnuts. It's called haroset. In Hebrew, a sweet, dark colored paste made of fruits and nuts eaten at the Pesach. So this will give you some ideas just how to even prepare your meal. And it says, thus our personal exodus from Egypt is the single most important element in our lives. Our spiritual Egypt. It says it's the single most important element of our lives. It gives us through the blood of the Lamb the ability to be free from our own confinements and sin nature. It says this Pesach is the best time to reaffirm and actually relive the promise from Yahuwah to Abraham that his people, Yasharel, would be free from Egypt and would come out with great wealth. And so there's scriptures there from Genesis. And again, these are Jewish traditions, lighting the festive lights of Pesach, and what the mother does, and then the reader reads, blowing the shofar, the reason we celebrate the feast, and then who reads out. So I have actually taken a program and I have restored the names, the correct names into it. I'll say that our family doesn't generally follow this. I have been to adult Seders and it's very structured, but with my particular family, because I have children, I try to make it very child friendly. We'll cover a lot of this, but it's not so structured in our homes. Anyway, I wanted to share those links with you so you can access these. Enjoy your Passover. May Yahuwah barak your Passover, your Feast of Unleavened Bread, and your Feast of First Fruits. Shalom.
May this video enrich your love in and understanding of our Abba Yahuwah and His Word. Much has been hidden. Together let's seek the restoration of all truth. A Light Unto the Gentiles channel invites you to join the Hebrew Restoration and Code Searching team. Please email us at alightuntothe@gmail.com to let us know of your interest. Looking for fellowship? We invite you to join our Facebook group, Code Searching Hebrews. Love, truth, and revelation are vital in these last days. The Hebrew Restoration and Code Searching Ministries, through A Light Unto the Gentiles, serves Yahuwah and the sheep from our Father's pasture. Please prayerfully consider a monthly donation to Restoration Farms Incorporated. Links are provided for you below in the description.